Hi everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a little notebook to hold notepads like this, including one that also has a pen holder attached. And to do this, I'm going to be using the Passport to Fall kit from Tailor Made Cards for You, and it is a wonderful digital kit that you are going to love. Trust me, you are going to love it. So, let's get started. Here are a couple that I have made, and here are some directions to get you started. If you're using 8.5 by 11-inch cardstock, this is what you're going to need to cut out. So please pause this anytime to take a look and write it down. I have also marked where to score, so that's where the dotted lines are and the arrows with the measurements. And if you're using 12 by 12 cardstock, then this is the first thing that you're going to need. On this one, you score 5 3/4 inches from each end. Either one of those are the base for the cover. Next is the topper for the spine and the pocket for on the inside. And you will get to choose whether or not you want that topper to have a pen holder or to not have a pen holder. But they are both shown here, so feel free to pause it and write down all of the dimensions and where to score. Okay, these are the pieces you would have cut out if you were using an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of cardstock. And I am actually going to show you how to put these three pieces together before we move on, because after this, everything is the same. So it doesn't matter whether you use 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11. So we've got these pieces and we have this. This was scored on those lines, so I am going to fold on those score lines. Let me see if I can see what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay, and so it looks like this. And next, whether you use a wet glue like Beacon 3-in-1 or whether you use a 1/4 inch double-sided tape, that is up to you. But I'm going to be using my Beacon. And what we're going to do is apply the glue, not to that part, but to these sides right here. So let me get my glue moving here. And I'm just going to put it on both sides at the same time, even though I don't need to. But what you're going to do next is you're going to take this and you're going to line it up on there right with that fold. So it goes right up to the fold there. Okay? And make sure that that's on there good. You're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we're going to put that in right up to the fold. Sorry, that's flapping around there on the camera, but right up to that score line, or right up to that fold. And once you have done that, let me show you something here. You've got this piece right here, which is the same size as this. So this is what you cut out if you had 12-inch cardstock. This is what you had cut out if you had 8.5 by 11-inch cardstock. And now we are ready to move on to the next step. Okay, I don't need both of these here because they are now the same. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to set this one aside. And we're going to come to this piece. And I'm going to go ahead and fold it on those score lines just to get that out of the way. Because the next thing you need to decide is, are you going to want a spine cover that has a pen holder on it, or are you going to want one that does not? Okay, so if you want one that doesn't because you don't have the cute little pins to go in it, then you just take this piece that you cut out that looks just like this. You fold on the score lines that you made, and then after, not right now, I'm just showing you this right now, but after you have decorated the front, you know, put your piece of decorative cardstock. Let me grab a piece right over here. So, you know, after you have your decorated piece on there, then you are going to attach this to the top, just like that. And you can use decorative scissors or punches or whatever you want to give this a decorative edge if you would like. I like doing that. But then you would adhere it on here with either wet glue or your double-sided tape, but it's going to go on just like that. And you're going to see this in a little while, but actually this is what I'm going to be showing you. I'll give you directions on doing the one for a pin because it's going to be a little bit more complicated than just folding this and adhering it on there. So let's move on. I have printed out all 4 pages that come with the Passport to Fall kit, and it is just beautiful. I just love everything it comes with, and there is more than enough here for me to decorate 2 of the notepad holders, and I'm going to go get this all cut out and I'll be right back. Okay, I have all my pieces ready. So this piece is right here, and I've got it scored already, and I'm going to fold on those score lines. And you can use a bone folder if you would like. Probably would be really nice to get really nice straight edges there. And this is the cover with the pin holder, and I have that already done, and I used a decorative trim on the edges here. And so I'm going to fold these score lines, and I'm actually folding them all the same direction. Maybe, yeah, I am. All the same direction, and we'll get to that a little bit later so that you'll know what to do with that. And this is for the inner pocket. So those pieces are all done, and here are all the pieces that I am going to be using to decorate this with. And I printed these all out. This is from the Passport to Fall kit. And there is so much more to this that I have cut out. All kinds of great little pieces and little pumpkin. And where'd the tag go? Hold on a minute here. There is more. And actually, I have another one of these books that is completed already. So you're even going to see more of the wonderful things that come in the Passport to Fall kit. So what I want to do is I want to ink all of my edges, and I am not going to ink them all right here on camera because that would take all day. But I just kind of wanted to show you what I'm doing because I like inked edges. Sometimes I use darker and sometimes I don't, but this is going to be going up against that, so I wanted it to be a little bit darker. And it helps get rid of the white edges because we don't want white edges. You know, that's just not going to look good up against the other cardstock. And whenever you print things out on your printer and you're using a white cardstock, of course, you're going to have white edges. And, well, let's get rid of those white edges, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to finish inking all of these pieces. I'm going to come back, and we are going to start putting this together. Be right back. Okay, I have all of my edges inked, and if you were wondering what ink I was using, I used Gathered Twigs, but another great one to use is Vintage Photo, and Tea Dye is also another good one. And you don't have to ink the edges across the front like I did. You could just do the edge and not have it show on this side, but I like the, you know, the depth and the vintage look it gives it. So that's what I have done with this. And now I'm ready to start decorating. So this is the cover, outside cover. Keep in mind that whatever you put on the outside cover does not have to go all the way up to the top. So you can see how this one has the same border around these edges, but there's more at the top. It doesn't matter because part of that is going to be covered up anyway. Okay, so it's just, don't worry about it. What I did was I cut my paper down 1/4 of an inch smaller all the way around, but it just wasn't tall enough. So you can cut yours 1/8 of an inch or however you like to. That's one thing I tell you is do it the way you like. You don't have to do it the way I do it. So however you would normally cut the layers to put on the top, that's what you need to do. But I just wanted to point out that the very top isn't going to show. And so I'm going to be putting my layers on the front, on the back, and on the inside panels. And I'm going to be using my 3-in-1. You can use your double-sided tape, however you want to do it. And you don't need to watch me do this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue on all of my pieces. And I will be right back so we can finish putting this together. Okay, I have my pretty cardstock front and back and on the inside. And one thing I want to point out is for the back cover, if you had a piece of cardstock or paper that you wanted to use but it wasn't, long enough, keep in mind that you're going to be putting a pocket right there. So whatever's down here at the bottom isn't going to show anyway. But there we go. Got that done, and now we're ready to put in the pocket. And I already have the tape put on there, and I really don't think it mattered on mine which was front and which was back because they're the same. But if you do have something different front or back, be sure that you are, opening this. This is the front, opening it and putting your little pocket right here. So we'll just peel the tape off here. Well, not the tape, but the protective backing on the tape. And just going to line this up on the bottom. This is always hard for me on camera, but I think I got it. Okay, so we have a little pocket here. So that part is done. And now we're going to work on the what did I call this? A spine cover. And this is the one that is going to work for putting a pin across the top. So the shorter part is the front. You'll see when you do this that this back part is longer than this part. This is the front, this is the back. We're going to fold on that middle score line. Okay, so there's a score line here, the middle one, and the one in the back. We're going to score it or fold it just like that. I'm going to grab my scissors, and depending on where you want to put your pin in or from which side you want to put it in, but I'm going to do it from this end, I'm going to clip over just to that score line. Okay, and I'm just eyeballing it. There is no certain measurement at all. Maybe 3/4 of an inch or something. But give it a clip and then come down just a little bit further. I don't know if you can see on here, but I'm going to say a 1/2 inch, and I'm not really good at measuring here, so I'm going to say a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to clip that. And now I'm going to grab a ruler just because I eyeballed that and kind of get an idea. So that was almost an inch in that I went, and it looks like I was right about that being a 1/2 inch. So we did that clipping right there, and now we're going to see if I can do this right. Fold this down and fold that part up. Okay, there we go. You just have to fold that score line down, and maybe even folding it in half the other direction will help. But we need to pop this part up because that is what's going to hold the pin. Now, you see this part right here? Okay, where that score line is? We are actually going to adhere that to the back. So, open it up just like this, and you are going to put your double-sided tape right along those. Don't put it here in the middle where that pops out, but put it right here on the back. So remember, this is the long side, it's the back, and that is where you're going to put your double-sided tape. Let me grab this really quick. And put that on there. Same thing on the other side. Okay. Everything's sticking to me. Move it out of the way. Okay, so there you go. This is the back. You put the tape right there, and we're going to adhere that down. This is actually easier than it sounds, and I bet some of you have already figured it out and said, oh, we get it, quit explaining. But just in case somebody else didn't get it. Okay, so now that has been pushed down, and it looks like this. So we have a little ridge up here, and we have a space right here for a pin. And now that we've done that, both sides are the same. So before the back was longer, but that's because it's going up higher. But now it's the same. And so what you need to do is adhere it like that. So it just fits right on there. And you could put double-sided tape on there. You could put double-sided tape on here. I am really bad at getting it lined up just right, and I actually need the wiggle room that I get from my Beacons 3-in-1. So I am going to be using a wet glue, but those of you that are pros with your, ATG guns or your double-sided tape, go for it. But it's just not going to work for me. So let's get this on there. And remember, we are not gluing this part down that just got glue on it. Okay, so I've got glue there, and I am actually going to just put it all over here. Going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and then remember, this backing part, the part that sticks up, is the back. Okay, so I'm just going to slide it right on there and just make sure that everything gets lined up and glued together. And I'm actually going along the spine or the top fold here first to make sure that that is adhered really well and in position, and then I'm pushing the rest of this down. And it should all be together. So since it's wet glue, I'm giving it just, another minute here. But make sure everything is lined up. And there we go. I'm not done. I'm going to show you how the pin goes through, but I still want to decorate it. There's all kinds of beautiful things to decorate with here. And I think this is precious. And I am actually going to put that right here on the front, on that corner. So let me do that really quick. And I don't know, do you want to watch me? I just got it all over the place. Do you want to watch me decorate? Let me see. There we go. Actually, so I got this all over the place. I need to clean it up. And that's the wonderful thing about Beacons 3-in-1, because there we go. Now it's all cleaned up. All right, so I'll probably, check it out, make sure I don't need to use my glue eraser in case I got more on here. So let me see. I think I'm going to put this right here on the back like that. And I'm going to do that off camera, so I'm not wasting your time here. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it on the inside. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you about the pin and how to put the notepad in, because you guys are all waiting for that, right? And here it is, all decorated. I found some twine ribbon that I had in my stash. I got it from Close to My Heart, but it has been so long they probably don't sell it anymore. And some rhinestones. And then these are from the Passport to Fall kit, as I already showed you. And just added that on there and on the back. Isn't that beautiful? I just love that. Love it, love it, love it. I could actually see this on a card. And we'll open it up, and here's the inside. I haven't put the pad in yet, so just hold on. And up here is the pin, and it just slides in right there. I get these pins at Hobby Lobby, and I don't have a Hobby Lobby anywhere near me. I actually had to order them online for another project of mine, and they work perfectly for this. So cute little pin. And now it is time to put the notepad in. And the notepad that I'm using is 3.5 inches by 5 inches. This is a common size. You'll be able to find this at probably Walmart, maybe even a dollar store, definitely at some place like Staples. And it has a nice little cardboard back on it. So it's replaceable. You know, when you use this one up, you just slide it out and slide another one in. But it just slides right in the back. In that little pocket that we created, slides right in there and fits nicely inside. And there you go. A notepad and a pen. Or, hold on, if you don't want to do it with the pen, then without the pen. As I already showed you earlier, let me see if I can find it here. Oh, sure. It's here somewhere. There it is. This is if you want to do it without a pen. So you have all of the directions and measurements to do it with or without. And all of this beautiful stuff was also from the Passport to Fall kit. I am loving this kit so much. Just look at that. I actually utilized all of the papers. I mean, this had to be cut down. It was one of the bigger papers, and so was that, but not a big deal. And on this one, I did a punch, a lace trim punch on it, and I cut this out with a die, so you can cut it out any way you want. It doesn't have a shape to it. I cut it out with that die and actually used adhesive foam tape to pop it up on there. And this is the inside. Oh, I love this. I was so torn between putting this on the front or putting that on the front. Big decision. Isn't that gorgeous? And again, this is from a bigger piece of paper that comes in that kit, so it continues over further. Absolutely gorgeous. This is actually the other side of it. I decided to use that in the back here since I had trimmed it off the side, and I thought I don't want it to go to waste. So actually nothing went to waste here. These are beautiful. With that kit, just printing out the 4 pages just one time, I was able to do those, and I still have extras, you know, left over that I can use on cards or whatever I want. Absolutely love it, love it, love it. And I hope that you love this tutorial and the 2 different ways to make these so that it fits your needs. But there you go. Thank you all for watching today, and I hope I made those directions easy enough for you to follow. And below in the description box, just click where it says show more and it will drop down and you will find a link to tailor-made cards for you. You will find a link to the Passport to Fall kit, and you will find a link to Crafter's Castle Challenge where you can enter all of your wonderful creations. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.